The race to cut up Ukraine is fast heating up. First, the war with Russia drained Kiev of its resources, and now Donald Trump seems to be demanding the rare earth minerals of the country as payback for the aid during the war. The situation for Ukraine is further complicated by the fact that Moscow now seems to be in control over the vast majority of Kiev's mineral wealth. Ukraine is in a complete mess, and Zelensky is now in a tight spot with hardly any room to maneuver. For the time being, the Ukraine president seems to be angling towards a compromise with Washington. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin seems to have played his early gambit extremely well. Russia's calculated focus on the resource rich provinces of Donetsk, Kherson, Luhansk, and Zaporizhia, together with Crimea and the Black Sea, seems to have paid off in a huge way. These marine areas and border territories, abundant in hydrocarbons and critical minerals such as graphite, lithium, and uranium, are not only a key area of conflict but also the key to Europe's energy independence. Russia now holds roughly 20% of Ukraine that it has occupied since 2022. The likely peace deal will angle towards a demilitarized zone between the nations, as Moscow will in no way give up these territories, while the US will look to exploit the resources left with Kiev. Ukraine is considered to possess one of the biggest global reserves of critical minerals. Prior to the 2022 Russian war, Ukraine registered 20,000 deposits of ore bearing minerals, including 117 of the 120 most globally used metals and minerals. Ukrainian and international authorities reported that the country was home to the world's top recoverable coal, gas, iron, manganese, nickel, ore, titanium, and uranium reserves. Ukraine has also been among the world's largest suppliers of noble gases such as neon and boasted the most significant known lithium and rare earth deposits in Europe. These critical minerals and rare earths are considered essential for various modern technologies, including batteries, magnets, catalysts, electronic components, and is a staple in a variety of sectors such as consumer electronics, healthcare, transportation, power generation, petroleum refining, as well as defense technologies. Nations across the world rely heavily on these essential raw materials. The market for critical minerals has doubled to over $320 billion in the last 5 years and is expected to double again in the next five. Ukraine's diverse geological zone is home to 20 critical minerals and metals, making it a top 10 global supplier of mineral resources, holding around 5% of the world's total supply. Russia has seized control over the majority of Ukraine's mineral resources, with the highest concentrations located in the regions annexed by Moscow in 2022. A little more than half of Ukraine's mineral resources, valued at more than $7.5 trillion, are contained just in the four regions of Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. The Crimean Peninsula, annexed by Russia in 2014, also holds roughly $206 billion worth of minerals. Not only this is a huge amount of Ukraine's mineral resources in Russian hands, a lot of it is so close to the front lines that mining, processing, and transporting it would be virtually impossible. Analysts estimate that Moscow has already managed to seize control of more than 12 trillion worth of Ukraine's energy assets, metals, and minerals. This abundant mineral wealth has not escaped the eyes of the West. Donald Trump's interest in Ukraine's critical materials is likely also driven by China's dominance in the rare earth market. As of January of last year, China accounted for 60% of global rare earth production and processed about 90%. Under Trump's America First policy, he's looking to boost US competitiveness by reducing its dependence on Beijing. China's dominance in critical raw materials enables it to wield geopolitical influence in economic decisions across the world. Over the past 15 years, it has even halted exports to Japan, Sweden, and the United States. Now, Donald Trump is indicating that he is keen to wean the US of this Chinese dependence. The US is getting directly involved in the mineral loot of Ukraine, with Trump and the US eyeing Ukraine's rare earth minerals. While Putin remains in control of the majority of its mineral wealth, many international companies are also vying for their piece in the pie. It is now no question that whatever treaty may be negotiated in the future, one thing is for certain: Kiev is bound to be the loser in this entire struggle. Not only has it lost its massive swaths of territory, the result of this conflict is that its vast resources are now up for exploitation by the major global players, being cut up and distributed like a cake amongst the victors. And all Volodymyr Zelensky can do is watch as his nation is picked apart due to a rather pointless war that will end up taking almost everything away from his nation.